Magandang hapon, Malacanang Press Corps. Kasama natin ngayon si OIC Attorney Cheloy Velicario ng Office of the Press Secretary. Ma'am?
Magandang hapon, Malacanang Press Corps. Simula ngayong araw ay may bago tayong makakasama sa bawat briefing na gagawin dito sa press working area. Siya ang magiging tagapaghatid ng balita at impormasyon tungkol sa mga gawain at proyekto ni Pangulong Ferdinand Romualdez Marcos Jr. Hindi na siya bago sa industriya dahil dati na rin siyang naging reporter na na-assign din sa Malacanang. Minsan na rin siyang kinilala bilang Goodwill Ambassador ng UNICEF. Isang karangalan na makasama namin sa Office of the Press Secretary ang isa sa mga lumalaban para sa karapatan ng mga kababaihan, kabataan at ng kalikasan. Nagtapos ng kursong Fine Art, History mula sa University of Toronto sa Canada, at kasalukuyang naka-enroll para sa Advanced Certificate for Environmental Management. Ipinakikilala namin sa inyo ang bagong Malacanang press briefer, si Binibining Daphne Osenia Paez.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Attorney. Magandang hapon, Malacanang Press Corps. Thank you for the kind introduction, Attorney Cheloy, ang ating OIC. Thank you, MPC, for the welcome. Gaya ng sinabi ni Attorney Cheloy, noon ay dyan ako sa opposite side. So, hindi bago sa akin ito. It's although iba na yung panahon ngayon, I look forward to doing this weekly updates with you. Since I will be the one who will be regularly your source for updates from the palace, I look forward to working with all of you, of course, in a harmonious and collegial manner, kasi I am also one of you. I'm very honored to be communicating the message and programs of this administration, of course, in an accurate and effective way, and I will do my best. It is my first time to work directly for government, and today, of course, is my first day. It happened to be a cabinet meeting day. So I'm here to share with you some details of the cabinet meeting earlier, which, by the way, is the last meeting for this year. In the 13th cabinet meeting, the secretaries presented to President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. the key accomplishments of their respective agencies from July to December, and their programs, of course, for 2023. Sa cabinet meeting kanina, 11 lang na mga kalihim ang nakapag-present ng kanilang accomplishments at programs dahil kinulang na ang oras. Ang mga nakapag-present kanina ay ang Department of Finance, National Economic and Development Authority or NEDA, Department of Budget and Management, Department of Trade and Industry, Department of Tourism, Department of Information and Communications Technology, Department of Public Works and Highways, Department of Transportation, Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development, Department of Foreign Affairs, and the Department of National Defense. Yung mga hindi nakapag-present ay itutuloy nila yan sa pagbalik nila sa January. Sa loob ng 6 na buwan, nakita na marami nang nagawa ang administrasyon at malawak pa ang mga programa na magpapabuti sa ekonomiya at sa buhay ng mga Pilipino. All the departments are working together to achieve the 8-point socioeconomic agenda of this administration. At dahil aprobado na ang SIM card registration law, kung saan magsisimula na ang registration sa December 27th, inimbitahan natin si DICT Secretary Ivan Uy para sa kanilang paghanda para rito. Ibabahagi rin niya ang iba pang importanteng programa ng DICT sa susunod na taon. Ladies and gentlemen, Secretary Ivan Uy.
Thank you very much, Daphne, for the kind introduction. Well, kanina sa cabinet meeting ay nakapag-present ang DICT nung aming mga accomplishment for the last 6 months. and also our programs, no, for this coming 2023. At most of them, most of the discussions dealt with the primary mandates of the department under the direction of the president when he spoke at the SONA. So first, we've been addressing connectivity, and for this year, we have connected many remote islands, no, all over the country, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, as well as the mountainous regions in both northern and central Luzon and in the Bicol region. The connections as far as Kalayaan Island have been set up, and we're now able to communicate directly with some of those remote islands as of today. So maganda po ang mga signals at coverage with respect to those free Wi-Fi connections in those islands. At we are going to pursue more aggressive implementation of the Broadband ng Masa program of the President by connecting several thousands more of these connections in the GIDA areas, the geographically isolated and disadvantaged areas. In addition to this, we've also implemented several e-government projects. One is the digital marketplace in partnership with the Department of Trade and Industry, where we are deploying an online, basically a government e-commerce platform that will provide our MSMEs with the means to be able to join the e-commerce bandwagon, no? Because as we have seen nung pandemya, yung mga brick and mortar businesses that were greatly affected, marami pong sumara. Yung mga nag-move on to the digital platform, ito po ang mga lumago na mga negosyo. And we expect that this trend will actually continue. The goal really is to increase our e-commerce transactions, our e-retail, as well as our digital payment system. So we're working with the Bangko Sentral, we're working with the various banks and the payment platforms to provide digital banking services as well as digital payment services, most especially for the business sector MSMEs using the e-commerce platform, as well as government access of government services. So to segue to that, we've also deployed our e-LGU program, which is a white label program that computerizes the different functionalities of the local government units. Business permits and licensing, clearances, payment of amilyar, and many others. No? So all of these, in the past, bawat local government has to handle it by themselves. At medyo nagkakaroon ng maraming issues dahil iba-iba yung mga developers, iba-iba yung mga sistema, at iba-iba yung mga data standards. So ngayon, dahil ginawa natin itong libre at white labeled, binibigay na lang ho namin ito sa LGUs upang magamit nila at hindi na sila mag-aaksaya ng panahon at ng oras at panahon at ng pera upang to redo, no, or to reinvent the wheel, so to speak. At white label ito, so the local government officials, the mayors, the governors, can just add on to the front page whatever they would like to incorporate in that e-LGU program. So gusto nilang ma-disseminate sa kanilang mga constituents, mga programa nila, mga accomplishments nila, and so on. Bawat isang LGU pwedeng i-upload, no, yung mga information na yan, and ang trabaho lang namin is to provide the digital platform in the background upang matulungan sila sa kanilang mga trabaho. So with that also, of course, we will incorporate digital payments system. Mapapabilis po ang transaction dahil imbis na pipila pa yung mga tao sa mga opisina upang magbayad either in cash or in manager's check or so on, pwede na from their mobile phones once they register into the ELGU app. They can pay from their homes, from their offices, or from anywhere. So this will facilitate the government transactions. So that's part of the e-governance process. No? At the same time, we also launched recently the e-travel system, which consolidates the different government agencies that deal with travel. Marami siguro sa atin nakapagbiyahe, every time we arrive, marami pong forms na fini-fill up. You have the arrival form for the Bureau of Immigration. You have the health pass for the Bureau of Quarantine, DOH. You have the Bureau of Customs, and then several other agencies. So ang ginawa po namin in-integrate na namin sa isang sistema. So isang beses lang mag-fill up ng information ang bisita o ang traveler, at in the background that all that information will just be farmed out to all the different government agencies. So this is just one example of how we're trying to simplify government access to government services by consolidating and making it easier to do business with government. We're also helping the DTI as well as the SEC in deploying ease of doing business so that investors and those who want to open or start businesses can do so from a single platform and reduce the number of days in registering a business. So maka-operate sila kaagad instead of waiting for a very long time. At marami pa pong mga programa. We're working with the Department of Tourism in upgrading the communications facilities, especially on our tourist sites. There are 94 tourist sites that have been identified. And so in this coming year, 2023, we will be significantly connecting and upgrading all of these tourist areas in order to have better quality and higher availability of signals, Wi-Fi signals. Bakit? We're encouraging not only tourists who come and visit temporarily, but also those who are with the gig economy, na mga traveling people who work from anywhere. So when they are in the beach, they can even do their work. So it will be very attractive for them, as the President has mentioned in his past. Why work from home when you can work from the beach? And the Philippines have very, very beautiful resorts and tourist areas that they can work from. And we are relaunching also many other programs that will encourage the investment in the business process management, or in the past we called it the business process outsourcing. Investors, we are developing several digital cities, or what they call the Smart Cities program, where we can host about 31 of them in the next few years, in order to be able to host the business process units. And we are, because of that, there will be a very high demand for local talents and local skills. And we are deploying skills upgrading in order to get our young people interested in the digital skills that would be necessary in order to answer the needs of our employers. They are all asking for software engineers, for cybersecurity experts, blockchain experts, artificial intelligence, 3D printing, and many more, fintech. So the DICT is working with all our educational partners from the private sector as well as government institutions like TESDA, like DepEd, like CHED, in order to deploy course materials and certification programs, and hopefully, if we do have more funds, scholarship programs, in order to be able to build up more competency in the STEM area, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. That is the jobs on demand currently worldwide. In my recent travels, one country has asked me, they need 100,000 software engineers. Can the Philippines supply them? Sabi namin, medyo that will be challenging, 100,000 software engineers. And then they tell me, if they go to China or they go to India, napakadali daw nila makakuha ng ganon. So, dapat makahabol tayo, no? We need to build up those competencies. Currently, there are 3 million job vacancies in the world for cybersecurity experts, 3 million. And all of these countries are looking at sourcing those talents. And Philippines is actually one of the first areas that they look at dahil magagaling daw tayong mga hackers. I think back in the year 2000, we landed in the world stage, no, with our I Love You virus. So the Filipinos are well known as early technology adopters. If you would recall, nung naunang lumabas ang cellphone at may text message, Pilipino po ang naging text capital ng buong mundo. Ngayon, nag-evolve yun, nagkaroon ng social media at Facebook. Sino na naman ang naging number 1 sa Facebook? Pilipino rin ho. Tayo ang naging number 1 sa Facebook. So, the world, all the technology companies look at the Philippines as a country that is composed of young people who are early technology adopters. And so they expect that we would produce a lot of these talents. And that will be the new answer, no? These are very high-paying jobs, and the demand is very, very high. So I think I made a brief summary of what was reported during the cabinet meeting from the DICT. Thank you very much. And did I address questions now? Or? Oh, yes, okay.
Sec Ivan, we have a question from Chona Yu of Radyo Inquirer.
Sir, sabi mo nga. Hello? Sir, sabi mo nga, magagaling yung mga Pilipino sa cybersecurity. Sir, sabi mo nga, magagaling yung mga Filipino sa cybersecurity. But do we have enough cybersecurity professionals dito sa Pilipinas ngayon?
Yun ang sinasabi ko kanina, no? Kulang na kulang tayo. At actually, when we talk about like certified cybersecurity experts, we call the CISSP, no? Certified. We only have about 200 of them in the country, compared to Singapore that has, I think, about 3,000. Ang napakaliit na bansa ang Singapore. But ganun ang numbers nila. Dito sa atin, 200 something lang, and only 30% of them are in country. The 70% are actually working abroad. So we need to build up that competency. Kaya yun yung programs na nilo-launch namin sa DICT to aggressively provide the technical know-how. Ang nangyayari kasi is marami tayong mga talented na technical people, pero hindi sila nagkwa-qualify for the jobs dahil wala silang credentials, yung certification. Kumbaga ito, self-learn. At marami ka nakikita, no? Kung makikita mo lang, pumunta lang kayo sa Bira Mall kung nasira yung mga mobile phones niyo, no? Or may mga phones na nakalock. Sasabihin ng manufacturer, hindi yan mabe-break. Pero pagdalhin mo doon, ilang minuto lang, pagbalik sa iyo, bukas na. So, marami tayong ganun. Ngunit, wala silang certificate. So, kung hahanap sila ng employment, hahanapin yung credentials, wala. So, ang objective ng DICT, bigyan natin ng credentials. So, what we're doing now is we're working, let's say, with the large technology companies and asking them, ano yung mga certification programs na meron sa inyo? Some of them are just 3 months or 6 months sa certification. Tapos, ang ginagawa namin, inimbita namin itong mga mga technical people, mag-enroll kayo. Either subsidized or free. And then from there, we provide them with either a scholarship so they can take the certification. At oras na meron silang certificate na from Cisco, from Oracle, from Intel, from Microsoft, employable na sila. So yan ang mga short programs, but we will be able to bridge that gap because napagaling ho natin. Ngunit ang kulang lang is building up on those credentials.
Sir, mga ilan po ang kailangan natin na makuhang mga cyber crime professionals?
Well, I think sky's the limit here, no? Considering na 2 million yung vacancies in the world. If we can supply even just 1/4 of that, 500,000, I think that's a very, very ambitious number. But I think we need to build up the interest and we need to develop the necessary talent. So yan ho ang pinagkakaabalahan natin is building up. Kasi hindi lang ho ito abroad, no? Itong mga BPOs natin dito sa Pilipinas and mga financial institutions natin, mga bangko, mga business sector, they all are looking for that. And that's just one of them, cybersecurity. Napakarami pa hong iba.
Sec Ivan, we have a question from Alan Francisco of PTV.
Hi, sir. Good afternoon. Sir, I understand that in the recent visit of the President in Belgium for the ASEAN-EU Summit, you had a meeting with the Estonian President.
No.
May we know what matters or what agreements have you discussed or finalized, sir?
As you all know po, ang Estonia napakasikat po sa buong mundo sa kanilang digitalization and cybersecurity. Sila po isa sa mga nangunguna sa buong mundo in terms of digitalizing their government system. At napakarami pong mga cyber attacks na nangyayari doon sa mga infrastructure nila, critical infrastructure. So, nagkasundo po kami na pag-aaralan natin ng mabuti how do they develop their cyber defense, their cyber security framework at maaring maturuan tayo how we can also develop that, no? So knowledge sharing between the two countries. Siguro manghihiram rin sila sa atin ng mga hackers upang testingin rin yung mga sistema nila at kung matatag ba o hindi. So na-mention kasi nila na kilala nila ang Pilipino, no? In terms of yung mga ganong capability. So so we want now to redirect that talent, no, into something more productive and more legal in developing this capability. Alam po natin na itong fourth industrial age po, everything is connected. At nakikita po natin na kahit na wala pa pong deklarasyon ng pagkagera at bago makaputok ng unang bala, ang unang virus ang nalolaunch. Ang cyber attack po ang nauuna before any actual physical attack is done. So, yan po ang new world order, kumbaga, new world system that we're living in. So we have to be prepared at we need people. We need people who are equipped with that. And marami po tayong mga ganung mga cooperation with our other countries, learnings to learn from them and them from us on cybersecurity, on e-governance, how to design systems and how to deploy systems to make it easier for the general public and the citizens to transact business with government. Napakabata po ng mga opisyal nila sa Estonia at magaganda. Although nakaka-inspire dahil when we discuss with them, marami po silang alam tungkol sa Pilipinas. Iniisip po natin na napakalayong lugar, no? Napakaliit na bansa sa Europa. At nung nagkikwento sila, they speak very highly of Filipinos and the Filipino talent, which we have, our professionalism, our competence, and of course, in Europe, we are famous for providing a lot of our nurses and caregivers and teachers. At doon po, marami po sa kanila, not just Estonia, nagsasabi nga na ang mga nag-alaga sa kanila nung nagkasakit sila sa ospital, ang mga nurses po natin, especially, parating special mention po yan, na iba ang pagmamahal at pag-aalaga ng mga Filipino nurses natin abroad. Kaya ito po ay isang highly in demand rin na profession, no? All over the world. Thank you po.
Sec, one more question from Job Manahan of ABS-CBN Online.
Thank you. Hello po,
Hi, Joe.
Secretary Ivan. Sir, sabi niyo kanina na kailangan ma-hype yung interest ng mga Filipinos. Doon nga po sa na-mention nyo. Pero may partnerships po ba ito with other countries or may scholarships tayong tinitingnan or mas magfo-focus tayo dun sa short programs na na-mention nyo kanina?
It will have to be a combination, no? For the short term, we need to concentrate on the short courses para ma-deploy kaagad natin itong mga kinakailangan agad-agaran. Ngunit for the more long term, we will be working with our educational institutions as well as the government agencies in charge of education, DepEd, CHED, and TESDA, and the state universities in order to develop more courses on this area. Importante po kasi is habang bata pa sila, maturuan na po sila mabuhay po ang interest nila sa mathematics, sa science, sa engineering, sa teknolohiya. At hindi ho na ma-distract sila masyado sa Facebook, sa TikTok, at medyo ma-redirect yung interest nila into that area. And we will be launching some programs on that come 2023. I will not announce it yet, but it will be a very interesting program on building up our STEM capacity even from the school and from the very young age. As soon as we are able to we're ready to deploy that program, we'll have another press conference and I'll break to you the news on how we are going to do those interventions.
Thank you very much, Sec Ivan.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ms. Daphne?
Thank you so much, Secretary Ivan. I particularly enjoyed your updates from Estonia, and I look forward to all the programs that you have in DICT. Before we close today, maybe we could take one question.
Ms. Maricel Halili,
Oh,
TV5.
Hi, ma'am. Ma'am, magandang hapon. Ma'am, may we know what's the exact mandate of a media press briefer, and what exactly is your rank? Should we call you USEC, ASEC?
You could just call me Daphne. My role here is to amplify and to communicate the message of President Marcos and the cabinet and the government. And you are my partners in this. I will be here to brief you every Tuesday regularly after cabinet meetings and to express and to represent whatever programs and news items that need to be amplified. I hope that helps. Yeah.
Is your role the same as a presidential spokesperson? Because I remember President Bongbong Marcos mentioned before that he will be his own spokesperson.
Yes.
So what made him change his
The
mind,
president
or-
will speak for himself. I'm just here to support the Office of the Press Secretary for now, and I look forward to learning a lot about the programs. As many of you know me from media, I didn't exactly maintain the presidential beat. I was only here for about 6 months. This is where I trained in Malacanang during FVR's time. But after that, I focused on lifestyle. But during my lifestyle hosting stint, my heart was in public service. I, for 12 years, served the Philippines as a Goodwill Ambassador and a Special Advocate for Children, focusing on maternal health, children's nutrition, and the last one was online sexual abuse of children. So all these issues have been close to me, and to have this opportunity to work at this time with the government, and of course with the likes of Secretary Uy and the cabinet is very exciting, and it's indeed an honor to, and both a challenge as well for me. So I look forward to the next coming months and the years, hopefully.
Ma'am, sorry. Sa PMS lang, ma'am, meron na po ba tayong OIC? And is it true that Secretary Angping, ba't nawala? Secretary Angping will be appointed as the ambassador to Portugal?
At this point, we don't have any updates on that, and as soon as we do, we will address that. Thank you very much for this.
Ma'am, another question, ma'am.
Thank you so much for this, my first briefing today, and we do have a lot to discuss in the coming weeks. So thank you again, and I guess Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to all. Thank you.
Maraming salamat, Malacanang Press Corps.